What's up, everybody? This is Dr. Zeb, and welcome to the Rehab Christian Center Tuesday night virtual experience. And I am grateful to be here with you tonight. And forgive me, it's been a day. I've been rolling, and I'm just grateful to be here with you tonight. But certainly praying that you had a great, fantastic weekend, and just grateful you tuned in tonight. I got another powerful message for you, of course, tonight. Good afternoon, Brother Antonio. Good to see you. Of course, as you guys come in the room, make sure you say good evening in the chat area. Let me know you're there. But I tell you, I've got an exciting word for you tonight. We're going to continue on what we taught on Sunday, and I found this to be a very good. Format because the messages on Sunday are so rich that oftentimes we're able to then take pieces of what we teach Sunday and continue pieces of that on Tuesdays. And so tonight I want to continue part of what we taught on Sunday. And tonight I want to talk about time, attention, and seed. Right? Time, attention, and seed is what we're going to deal with. And this is going to be a powerful message because it is certainly a good continuation of Sunday and how we talked about the gardener and the owner of the garden, and how it is critically important that you allot proper time, attention, and seed to anything before you shut it down, before you chop it down. And so tonight we got a very powerful message for you. And man, let me tell you something. It's Tuesday, but I promise you it feels like it's Friday. These last 48 hours have been a haul for me personally at work and with everything that I've got going on. So many projects going on right now. But just grateful to see you tonight. And so Pastor sounds low energy. Pastor's not upset. Pastor's tired. He is tired. It has been a long 48 hours, Monday and Tuesday. Yesterday and today, it's just been a haul. But we're excited to be here. And I know that as the teaching gets going, our energy will raise up. It always does. And I'm just grateful to be in your presence tonight. And so grateful you tuned in. So let's go through all the channels. Let's start with Facebook. Good evening, Facebook. It's good to see you virtually. Thank you so much, those of you that are tuning in via Facebook. We really appreciate you being here tonight. Do me a favor, if you're on Facebook, make sure you hit that like button. If you really enjoy this broadcast, this ministry, hold it down and turn it to a love button, and then hit that share button. And I want you to tag 5 people on your friends list and tell them to tune in tonight. Tell them to tune in tonight for a very powerful message on time, attention, and seed. Do that for me quickly. Again, hit the like button, hold it down, turn it to a love button if you're on Facebook. Hit that share button, hit that @ symbol, tag 5 people and tell them to tune in. And again, if you're on Facebook, make sure you say good evening in the chat area. It's rude to come to virtual church and not speak. And so I don't want you to walk in that room without speaking tonight, but it is good to see you virtually and so good to be with you live tonight. And certainly praying that all is well with you. Instagram, good evening to you. Instagram's our slow church. And so we don't have a lot of people in the room right now, but Instagram, those of you that are here, good evening to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're tuned in via Instagram, do me a favor, make sure you fill it up with hearts. And then if you're on Instagram, hit that @ symbol in the comments, and your name should start to populate of your friends. Tag 5 of your friends and tell them to tune in tonight via Instagram. If you're on Instagram, hit that @ symbol, tag 5 of your friends, tell them to tune in tonight. And we are quite certain that this message is going to be a blessing to someone tonight. But it is so good to see you. And of course, make sure you say good evening in the chat area if you're on Instagram. Good evening to you. And I see several people on Facebook saying good evening. Good evening, Sister Benita. It's so good to see you, Sister Herban. So good to see you, and hope all is well with you and the children tonight. Listen, YouTube, Last Network. If you're tuned in via YouTube, good evening to you. If you're watching us on YouTube, do me a favor. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, you can do that by going to YouTube and typing in @TheRehabCC, or just type in The RehabCC in the search bar, The RehabCC, and you will see our channel. Hit that like button on this video, hit that subscribe button so that you're linked to our channel. And then I want you to hit that little bell icon. Hit that bell icon, that notification is going to alert you every time we go live. I'm subscribed to our YouTube channel, and so when I went live tonight, I got a little notification on my phone. It's a cool thing to let me know that the Rehab Christian Center is on the air. And so make sure you do that. If you're not following us on YouTube, if you don't even have a YouTube account, set up one. YouTube is a very valuable tool and found YouTube to be actually the easiest of the three software that we use. So make sure you set up a page, and then make sure you make the opportunity to follow us on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. Again, hit that bell notification icon so you can be notified when we go live. Listen, y'all, I'm ready to get into the word tonight. I promise you I ain't going to run over. I don't know how much gas Pastor has tonight. I'm telling you, it has been a long 48 hours of work this week, but good work, And it feels great to go to work, to not only have a job, to be honest with you, to have a job, but to also know that you give your job all of your effort. That's a very powerful thing. It is wise for all of us that work to make sure that when we do work, that we offer an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. Shouldn't be at work all day scrolling social media. You should be giving your employer what is due your employer. And so, when I come home at night, I really crash because I really do give it my all during the day. And that's just my 9 to 5 job, 8 to 5 job. It ain't even dealing with the other jobs I got on the side. So Pastor's tired. He's going to be up for a while tonight, but I'm grateful to be here. Listen, let's get into this and let's get this energy up tonight. I am talking from the subject, time, attention, and seed. I want you to put that in the comments now. Time, attention, and seed. Put that in the comments now. Time, attention, and seed is what we're going to deal with tonight. And it is really a good continuation of what we talked about Sunday as it relates to time, attention, and seed for anything that we are assessing or evaluating in our lives. If you did not see Sunday's message, please go to YouTube and watch the replay. What a very powerful word Sunday was when we talked about the power of self-assessment and how so many people have improperly assessed things in their lives instead of giving it the proper time, the proper attention, and the proper seed. And it was a very powerful message. And so I want to continue that tonight. And what I'm going to do is really illuminate what time, attention, and seed truly mean. And by giving you 3 substitute words to take this a step further. I've got 1 substitute word for each of these words. 1 word for time, 1 for attention, 1 for seed. That I think will really bring this into some finality tonight in terms of context. And I want to deal with this a little bit deeper because these words are words we understand. Sometimes you say, time, we get attention, we get seed as a deep word. But I want to give you a word that is a good replacement for seed, a good replacement for attention, a good replacement for time, so that you understand how you apply these practically into your life. Because again, and I said this Sunday, and I want to remind you and say this to you again, anytime you cut off anything in your life without properly assessing it, anytime you destroy anything in your life without properly assessing it, anytime you eliminate anything in your life without properly assessing it, you are doing yourself and that thing a disservice, but you're also doing your future a disservice, right? And so, we've said this ad nauseum, but it bears repeating tonight. This generation just is quick to just move on and quick to cut things off and cut things away instead of properly evaluating things. And I'm not talking about being a hoarder. Some of you don't throw away nothing, right? So if I walked in your house, I would stumble over trash because you got stuff everywhere. I ain't talking about hoarding. I can't stand the show Hoarders because it is a nasty show. I just don't see how people sit in a house or a space with that stuff all sitting on top of them. I just don't get it, but maybe it's my OCD, which I can be borderline OCD sometimes kicking in. And so I don't see how people do that. But so I'm not talking about being a hoarder, but what I am saying is that you have to give things in your life proper time, attention, and seed in order to make a proper evaluation. And remember, we said this Sunday, and this is a good place to start off. And this may be worthy of you putting your first note in tonight. Remember, we said this Sunday, and we're going to remind you again, that anytime you evaluate anything, you ain't just looking at the good of it, you're also looking at the bad. Part of proper evaluation is evaluating the bad of a thing as well, not just the good, not just the things that go well, not just the things that are great, not just the things that are lovely, but also evaluating the bad in things. When we evaluate the bad with the good, we receive proper evaluations of a thing. Many relationships fail because they only get evaluated according to the good and not the bad. Many people get set up for failure at work because in evaluation, all they're ever told, and an evaluation is what they do well, and they're not told about the things they don't do well. If your boss, your supervisor evaluates you at work, and all they do is tell you what you do good on the job, I'm here to tell you, you will never get a promotion in that organization. And if you get a promotion, it's not going to be a wise promotion because you will not be prepared to go and take on greater responsibilities if your evaluation only involves good things, right? So more than just being evaluated for the good, we have to seek evaluations that give us information regarding the bad. If a relationship is evaluated both for its good days, but also its bad days, for its positives as well as its negatives, if you evaluate people for their positives, but also their negatives, you are getting a fair assessment of who they are. And if you get that fair assessment of who they are, then much like the owner of the garden, you then have a right to cut down the tree, right? You have a right to hack down the tree that isn't producing, hack down the relationship that isn't producing, hack down the career that isn't producing. Why? Because you have given it a fair evaluation, right? And so this is very important. This is very important if we are going to be positioned to properly evaluate things in our lives, right? And in many ways, frankly, um, if we look at a lot of different things, and this is probably a horrible example to use tonight, but I'm going to use it because I just saw a news story flash up on one of my screens. I'm going to use it because this is probably a horrible example, but it can kind of make sense. Even when we think about the court systems, right? When you go to court and if you go to court and you're on trial for something, this is the reason why we have two attorneys. This is the reason why you have someone who makes a case and someone who argues a case and someone who then rebuts a case, right? The whole purpose of a rebuttal and making a case is to be able to present proper assessment of the situation, right? And I don't necessarily have to use a very serious crime to make this make sense. If you get pulled over by an officer for a speeding ticket, right? When you get in court, that officer is going to get to go first. That officer is going to talk about what they saw, what he or she saw, how they pulled you over, why they pulled you over, hopefully. In today's time, if you live after the pullover. But anyway, they're going to talk about all of those things. And then after they finish, they're going to turn it over to you, and either you or your attorney, if you have one, is going to talk about your side of the story. What's the purpose? The only way that judge can properly evaluate what happens is if he hears the good and the bad, is if he hears both sides of the situation. And this is what proper evaluation does. And so this is all I'm trying to challenge you to do, not just in your spiritual life, but frankly, in every area of your life. You should be evaluating every area of your life for both the good and the bad, right? If you want to be strong, remember I said it Sunday, I'll say it again, that the quickest way to be strong is to strengthen the weak hand, right? It's not to strengthen the right hand. It is to strengthen the weak hand, the left hand. The whatever hand, your right hand, if your right hand is your weak hand, not your dominant hand, whatever hand it is, the whole purpose is you strengthen the strong hand by strengthening the weak hand, right? Are y'all recording all of this? I feel like I'm throwing a lot at you and I feel very academic tonight. All right. You strengthen the strong hand by strengthening the weak hand. That's a tongue twister. You strengthen the strong hand by strengthening the weak hand, meaning you don't get strong in your life without developing the weak areas of your life. That's good. I need you to record that. You don't get strong in your life by not developing the weak areas of your life. You have to develop the weak areas of your life in order to gain strength and more strength in the strong areas of your life. And so often, and we're guilty of this. We're guilty of this at work because we only tell people positive things that they do at work. We don't tell them about them coming late and how they need to do their work and turn their work on time, right? We don't deal with the weak stuff. We do this in relationships. We only tell people how wonderful they are, and we don't tell them how rotten their attitude is and how sometimey they can be and how two-faced they can be. Like we don't tell people the weak stuff. We only dwell on the good. And the challenge with that is, the benefit is, yeah, you don't hurt nobody's feelings. The downside to that is you handicap people by not making available to them the honesty regarding their flaws. And so you have to be willing to make available to people the honesty regarding their flaws. And in doing so, you challenge their strength by strengthening the weak space. Does that make sense? I feel my strength coming back. You challenge their strength by strengthening the weak space. And that's how you grow, right? That's how you develop. That's how you mature in whatever area of your life. And so I want to deal with these things, time, attention, and seed, but I want to give you three substitute words tonight that will help to put this in context. And we're going to use three substitute words for time, attention, and seed. We explained that pretty well Sunday. Hope that made sense to everyone, what we taught Sunday. But let me just give you three substitute words for each of those words. All right. So the first word, the substitute for time, the word that I want to focus on tonight for a few moments is patience. Let's talk about that. Patience. Right. The first key word that I want you to focus on when we're talking about evaluating your life and assessing your life for its strengths and weaknesses in order to grow and make a proper assessment and evaluation of who you are to determine your future. The first thing you got to operate in is patience, right? We said time, the substitute word is patience. I want to say this about patience. When you operate in patience, when you operate in true patience, you do not let the challenges of the moment rush you to make rash decisions. You don't let the challenges of the moment rush you to make rash decisions, right? You do not let the challenges of the moment rush you to make rash decisions. Many people have made rash decisions because they have not operated in the beauty of patience. The Bible says that patience hath her perfect work, that when it is perfected, that patience in you will help to establish and strengthen you. This is powerful. When you don't operate in patience, you end up making decisions oftentimes not out of fact, but out of feelings. And I don't know who needs to hear this tonight, but somebody needs to hear tonight that if you are making a whole lot of decisions that are rushed, you are probably making a whole lot of decisions in your feelings. I'm going to say this again. If you're making a whole lot of decisions that are rushed, you are probably making a whole lot of decisions in your feelings. And folks, if you don't hear nothing else I say tonight, I need you to hear this in love. Anytime you are making feelings in your decisions, you are heading down a road to real destruction. You are. And I said it Sunday, and I'll reiterate it again tonight. This generation just doesn't like to wait. This generation is in such a hurry for everything. We want everything yesterday, right? We are quick to cut people off. We are quick to quit jobs. Some of y'all had 6 jobs in the last 2 months because you go in and you have a good day. You come in the next day, you have a bad day. Somebody get on your nerves and you say, that's it. I'm leaving these fries. I'm not flipping these fries no more. And you leave. And you literally can't stay on a job for more than 2 years. Why? Because you can't take nothing. You expect everything to happen for you yesterday. You expect everything to happen for you when you want it to happen. And I'm here to tell you, you got to operate in patience because some of you have walked away from great opportunities because you didn't have patience while you were in the middle of a storm. And every good job, just like every good relationship, just like every good friendship, just like every good connection is going to have what? Its ups and its downs. And what you have to evaluate is you have to evaluate the strengths of the ups versus the strengths of the downs. You have to evaluate that. And if the downs far outweigh the strengths, then maybe it's time to go to a different job. But if you've had some downs, but you've had more ups than you've had downs, then maybe you need to hold on to that job a little bit longer. I'm giving y'all some practical stuff. The same thing applies for your relationships, your marriages, your friendships, whatever. Some of y'all just walking out of stuff and rushing out of stuff, and you don't even realize that the proper way to do it is to evaluate it according to strengths and ups and downs, and which one is far outweighed the other, and to give yourself the patience to evaluate it so that you don't make rash decisions. Now, y'all don't like the way I'm teaching tonight. Right? And that's because this generation is in a hurry. You rush to do everything. You rush to make decisions about the careers you're going to change. You rush to make decisions about relationships you're going to break off. You rush to make decisions about where you're going to relocate to and move to. You rush to make decisions with your kids. You got your kids going everywhere. You're throwing your kids everywhere and jerking them by the chain because you're rushing them in and out of things. Why? Because you're impatient. And your impatience is breeding dangerous, herky-jerky types of movements into your children because of your lack of patience and your inability to properly weigh things out. The Bible says haste makes mistakes. The reality is Anytime you are quick to do anything, you are more likely than not to make a mistake. That's whether you are evaluating something to determine its value and your willingness or ability to stay there or go, or if you are just evaluating whether or not you're going to change jobs or when you're going to eat, whatever. Haste always makes mistakes, and you have to find a balance between the two. You cannot be in a hurry to do anything. The Bible says, be anxious for nothing. Be anxious, be not in a hurry for nothing, but in everything through prayer and supplication. This is Bible. Y'all didn't think I knew the word, did you? Be, I like to taunt some of y'all. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything through prayer and supplication, let your requests be made known to God. Here we go. When you are anxious for nothing and you let God know what you need, look at what the B clause says. Then the B clause says, and the peace of God that surpasses your own understanding will guard your hearts and minds. When you are not anxious, when you are not in a hurry to do things, and you give things over to God through patience, then through that patience, God gives you peace. I need you to record this. The quickest way to have peace in your life is to have patience. Man, oh man, I feel my energy level rising back up, even though I'm tired and my eyes are barely open tonight. You hear what I said? The quickest way to have peace in your life is to walk in patience. You want peace in your life for real? Walk in patience. And let me tell you the kind of patience you need in order to have peace in your life. Because I'm going to tell you, it can get hard. People like to rush you to make decisions. Hurry up and think about this. Hurry up and do this. No. When you have the God kind of peace where you are anxious for nothing, you ain't in a hurry to do nothing, but in everything through prayer and supplication, you letting God know what's going on. I'm just breaking this down in everyday language, English. So you're anxious for nothing, but in prayer through supplication, meditation, you're making your request known to God. This is what I need. In exchange for that, God gives you peace. So even when external factors try to rush you, the peace of God comes over you when you're not anxious for everything and when you turn everything over to God. And some of you have no peace because you're anxious about everything and you have not turned over everything to God. When you turn it over to God and you're not anxious about it, He gives you peace. And you can literally sit there and people just be rushing. Let me give you what comes to mind when I think about the God kind of peace. Let me give you what comes to mind when I think about the God kind of peace. This is the best example. This is so random. This is not in my notes. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because I got to go through these other two words. Let me tell you what comes to mind when I think about the God kind of peace. Let me see if this bothers anybody else. So when we go to the neighborhood Walmart right down the street here, me and the kids go down there, and we'll go in. You may not see anything outside. When we come out the Walmart, we'll be pulling out the parking lot, and there are those geese. There's a lake that's near the neighborhood Walmart here. And so every now and then you'll see geese there, and those geese will be out somehow magically when we get out the store. I don't know if they fly over there while we're in or whatever, but they always tend to be out there when we're getting out and when we're leaving. And these geese will be walking across the street. Now, I don't know if y'all know this, but you can't run over those geese. If you run over those geese, you'll get a major ticket. Like it's like a $1,000 fine. I know somebody who ran over and hit a geese, and somebody called in their tag and he got fined. You can get fined for running over those geese that walk across the street, right? They're absolutely, Minister Collins, they're a complete pain in the neck. But let me tell you something what I think about. When you out there, have you ever been in your car and you see those geese walking across the street? And sometimes it'd be like 3, 4, 5 of them. Sometimes it might be one of them, 1 or 2 of them, right? You notice how unbothered they are by how much of a hurry you're in. I mean, I have sometimes at Walmart had to hurry up and get home to jump on a virtual call or something to say, let me just get out of here and run to Walmart real quick and then get back here. And then I'm trying to rush and get home and those geese in the road. And you know what? Those geese could care less how much of a hurry I'm in. They could care less. They walk across the street. They see you there. You can ease your car up. They'll slow up a little bit. They'll kind of look over at you. Sometimes they'll speed up a little bit. Sometimes they take up their time. But if unbothered was a person, it would be those geese. They're completely unbothered. They could care less about you. And unfortunately, a few of them have given their life by not caring because some folk have run over a few of them before. But when I think about the God kind of patience, That's the kind of peace God gives you. Like literally, things around you can be going crazy. You're gonna take your time across the street. You ain't in no hurry. They real disrespectful. I think this is that they real disrespectful. Like they could care less. Like you be in a hurry and they just taking their time. You got everywhere to go. You about to be late for your kids' doctor's appointment. You about to be late for your meeting at work. They taking their time. Y'all know what? If God's peace was a person, it would be those geese. That's what God peace looks like. And you only get God peace when you operate in patience. You gotta operate in patience, man. You can't be in a hurry to do things. Some of y'all need to slow down. Some of you need to go back and repent to people. Woo, y'all don't like that word, do you? Some of you need to go back and repent to people that you have cut off, people that you have minimized, people that you have hurt. You need to go back and repent to folk because you didn't give it enough time. You didn't give it enough patience. You was just quick to just cut stuff off. And here you are thinking you did yourself a favor and did them a favor when really you weren't operating in God patience. When you got God patience, like literally folk can be rushing you to do stuff. And folk can clearly see that they got somewhere to go and you're in the way. You got God peace. God peace looks like those geese walking across the street. Brothers and Sister Ashley, they real disrespectful because you in a hurry and they could care less. Why? Because they're on a different time. They're operating under a different purpose. And that's the kind of God peace that God wants you to have. And you only get it again through patience. Here's the second thing, right? The word that equates to attention is work. I'm about to get in trouble right here. Work, right? So the second word, the first word is patience that equates to time. The second word that equates to attention is work. Work, 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 work. Now, I hope what you got out of Sunday's message was the importance when we talked about attention in the gardener saying, listen, owner, give me a second. Let me put some more attention into the garden before you cut down the tree, before you get mad and want to pull up the roots and cut it down. Just let me give it some more work. All right. Let me tell y'all something about work. I'm about to get in trouble. I feel myself about to get real ignorant. Let me tell y'all something about work. It does not take talent. It does not take a special gift. It does not take degrees to have a work ethic. Bible says, if a man don't work, he shouldn't eat. And I want to say this to all of you. Don't let laziness be the reason why things don't work out in your life. Oh, don't let laziness be the reason why things don't work out in your life. Laziness, many times, is the root cause for so many things falling apart. You can lose your job being lazy. You can lose your home being lazy. Y'all ready for this? You can lose your relationships, your marriages, being lazy. Oh, I know y'all don't like this either. Lazy. So we hear the verse all the time. You know, a man don't work, he shouldn't eat. We only think about somebody that put in 8 hours every day, shouldn't be able to have no meal. It's more than that. A man that doesn't work or a woman that doesn't work shouldn't eat also relates to not reaping the fruits of your labor. If you don't work in a relationship, you shouldn't reap the fruits of it. Oh, y'all quiet. Yeah. If you're not putting in work in that relationship, you shouldn't reap the fruits of that relationship. Why? Because you have not put in any work. You know, and I know, you know, the weather's getting cold. I see a relationship series coming on the horizon. It's going to be tough this year. It's going to be tough. But let me just tell some of y'all have all of these expectations in your relationships and in your marriages and all these things. Let me just ask you something. Do your expectations equate to the amount of work that you're putting in? Oh, look at my numbers is going down. Are y'all listening to me? Do your expectations equate to the amount of work that you're putting in? You want all of this work from your man. You want all this work from your woman. Let me ask you something. Are you putting in the same amount of work that you are expecting from him or her? If the answer is no, you are out of order to expect a harvest from something you are not investing work in. So work really applies to every more than just punching a clock every day. When we don't invest attention or work into our careers or work into our relationships, work into our children. Many of you have all of these great grand ideas. Your children ought to be doing this, and y'all need to go do this and do this. Let me ask you something. What have you invested into them? What have you shown them how to do? Have you been patient enough to work with them, to show them things, to prepare them to be able to do the things that you need them to do? See, it's easy to fuss at kids. It's easy to grab a belt or braid a switch and swing on a kid. What have you invested in them to make sure that they get it? This is sound teaching tonight, because I'm here to tell you, anything you don't put work into, you should not expect an investment from. Anything you put work into, you should not expect rather a harvest from. And some of y'all expecting big harvests from all of these things that you have not invested work into. Again, you cannot put demands. I like that, Dale. I think we said that Sunday. You cannot put a demand on anything that you have not invested in, right? That you have not invested this time, this attention, this work, this patience into. You can't put a demand on that stuff. And this is a lazy generation. I was in Charlotte. I went to Charlotte this weekend, not the whole weekend. Couldn't go the whole weekend. Just for part of my birthday stuff. I got another birthday trip coming up. Y'all pray for Pastor. No one coming. But let me tell you something. I was in Charlotte. This is the truth. I was leaving South Park Mall. And I was leaving South Park Mall. And South Park Mall has a Chili's that's about 2.5 miles from the mall. Now, I like Chili's potato soup. They have a really good potato soup. It's almost as good as Pastor's. I'm not making this up. You can ask my kids. I make a potato soup from scratch. That is amazing. And it's getting cold. So if y'all want a bowl, just let me know. It's going to be about $18.99 a bowl. Pastor, you know, Pastor's getting late and Pastor tired because he's talking about food. Right? But Pastor makes a really good potato soup, right? Really, really good potato soup. But Chili's has a good potato soup. And so I left the mall. I wasn't that hungry. I knew I had dinner later on that night. And so I just wanted a bowl of potato soup. I wanted some salsa and chips. I like their salsa and chips. And they have a really good strawberry lemonade at Chili's. And so I stopped by this Chili's that was 2.5 miles from the mall. And I went in there and I noticed there weren't a lot of cars in the parking lot. I went in there and one half of the restaurant was empty. The bar side that has the little seats, the booths around the bar, and then of course the seats at the bar, that side was open. And it was probably maybe like 9 people over there. And God bless her. I stood at the counter, the check-in counter for a good little minute. Nobody came to me for probably about 2 or 3 minutes. Finally, a lady comes out from the back kitchen. She's got an apron around her thing, and she says, "Sir, you here to pick up?" I said, "No, ma'am." She had a mask on. I had mine on. She said, "I'm sorry." I said, "But I can't take you." She said, "Because we don't have enough help, and I'm not going to be able to serve you unless you're willing to wait anywhere from, say, 30 to 45 minutes." I said, "Wow, really?" She said, "Yes, ma'am." Yes, sir. She said, "I'm so sorry." She said, "It's just me, one cook, and the owner here." This was in the middle of the day on a Saturday. Had to have been like 2 something, middle of the day on a Saturday. And I said, "Why don't y'all have more workers, honey?" She said, "Nobody wants to work." So I'm thinking, it's just this Chili's. That's an anomaly. I left that Chili's. I went in my car, put on my GPS, and I typed in Chili's, and there was another Chili's about 5 miles away. So I drove over there. When I got over there, they let me in, but check this out. Lady sat me down. She said, "Listen, I need you to give me about 10 minutes. She said, "Because it's just me and one other waitress. We have 2 cooks here. The manager's not here. We've got 2 cooks here. It's me and one other waitress. And we're not using that side of the restaurant. It's just this side. Are you willing to wait, 10 minutes if I go ahead and sit you?" I said, "Yes, ma'am. It's no worries. I understand. Everybody's short staffed." She said, "Yeah, tell me about it." I went and sat down. And when I'm sitting there just waiting, I was on my phone just waiting. I looked up over the glass area and there were 2 children. On the other side of the restaurant, there was nobody else on that side of the restaurant but two little kids. They had on headphones. You tell they had the little iPads and games and stuff. And then I put two and two together. These were the kids of the waitresses that were working. They didn't have childcare. They didn't have any other help. The lady was telling me later, she finally told me, she said, listen, she said, I appreciate your pay. She said, we've just been up under. We've been working double and triple shifts. We can't find anybody. And I said, man, bless your heart, I really did. She said, no, you ain't got to say that. She said, I don't mind. She said, I'm pulling in this check. She said, I work here. I work at Buffalo Wild Wings. And she said, just right here, Chili's alone, I'm bringing home $1,400 a week. She said, because nobody wants to work. So I do this shift. I sometimes bring my kids. We leave here. We go to Buffalo Wild Wings. If I can't get my kid to his daddy's, I'll bring him with me. I make sure I feed him really well. He does his homework. He's very well mannered. And he travels with mama on the weekends when he's not in school so mama can work. And so between the two jobs, I'm bringing in anywhere from $2,800 to $2,900 a week. And I looked at sis and started to say, you got any applications? Like, where do I apply, sis? $2,900 a week. Look, I will gladly put on an apron and say, welcome to Chili's, man, take your order, please. Like, that's major money. But she said, you know what? Nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to work. Now, hear what I'm saying. Everybody ain't got a PhD. Everybody don't have an advanced degree. Everybody have all this fancy experience. It's not about how many degrees you have. Working is about making an honest day's living and going to sleep at night knowing you ain't robbed nobody, you ain't shorted nobody, you can provide for yourself and your family, and you don't need nobody else to support you. So if a man don't do all of that, if a woman don't do all of that, she shouldn't eat. He shouldn't eat. And this is the time that we're living in. Like these folks, and I know there's a lot of people that are out of work. And these people could not find nobody to work. And God bless that second Chili's, them ladies was making that coin. And I tipped her with my bill. I got 2 bowls of soup and some salsa chips and a strawberry lemonade. My check was like $16, something like that, $15, $16. I gave that lady like a $30 tip. The reason I gave her a $30 tip is not because she didn't need the money. Sis is bringing in $2,800, $2,900 a week. She need to be tipping me. Sis is making some serious coin. But let me tell you why I tipped her. Her work ethic. You got your kid over here, dragging your kid everywhere in the name of work to make sure that you can supply and make room for your kids and make sure your kids have. God honors that. Are y'all listening to me? God honors, he honors a work ethic. And I wouldn't give 2 cents for some of you folks, single folks out here, that's dating these folk that don't want to work, that don't want to go to work. I wouldn't give 2 cents for you or them. Dating these folk with no work ethic, that's lazy, that don't want to do nothing but pick up their hands to put some food in their mouth. Y'all better stop. Listen, your man, your woman ain't got to have no fancy job where they wear a suit every day. And, some executive with their name on there, they ain't got to have all of that. They can have an honest day's living working at Little Caesars. If they working every day, if the work is honest and it's paying the bills, it should be honored. Y'all don't like this kind of teaching. It should be honored. It should be honored. God honors work. He honors a work ethic. He don't honor laziness. He doesn't. I saw a meme. It was one of the funniest memes I ever saw. And I reposted, and I know I get on some of y'all's nerves because y'all be like, what is Pastor posting now? I don't care. Pastor gonna tell y'all like it. Pastor gonna keep 100. I got probably one of the best compliments I've received in a long time Friday night. A young lady, I'd never met her. I'm friends with her on Facebook. Sent me an inbox and said, Pastor, I just want you to know that you are probably one of the most transparent, real pastors I've ever seen in my life. This lady is a much older lady. She's in her late 50s. She's probably one of the most, she said, I've been around the block. I've seen a lot of old pastors and preachers, young and old. Probably one of the most transparent pastors I've ever seen because you clearly just tell it like it is. And there's a price to pay for that because you ain't always popular and people don't always understand you. And your church friends think you backslid and your non-church friends think you're crazy, right? There's a price to pay for that. But I really well received that because I said, when I get married, When I die and have a funeral, I'm probably have to have 3 different funerals. I'm gonna have to have a funeral. I'm gonna have to have a funeral for the church folks. One section of the funeral is going to be for church folks. One section of the funeral is going to have to be for my professional friends, and section of the funeral is going to have to be for all the folks off the street from the hood that love Pastor. And I'm with that. I'm with it. But you've got to have a work ethic. You can't be lazy. God does not honor lazy. And so I posted a meme. This was several months ago, and I know it really ruffled some feathers. I don't care. Where somebody said, um, "Your man got that his seat leaned back. Your man has his seat leaned back, and he don't have no job. He needs to sit that seat up so he can see who the f is hiring." And I thought it was hilarious. No, it's hilarious because y'all are crazy for giving your love to people that don't want to work. If a man don't work, he should not only eat, but he also shouldn't be getting none either. Well, Pastor, we living off love. Let me tell you something. Don't nobody make love good enough to pay that power bill. Oh, y'all don't like this kind of teaching. I know. I get in trouble for this. Welcome new viewers that are jumping on. Don't nobody hit it from the back good enough to not go to work and be able to get them groceries. And y'all don't want me to keep it 100 with y'all because y'all know how I get down. Don't egg me on. Don't right, Carlos. Don't egg me on because y'all know me. Y'all know me. Don't play with me. Well, Pastor, he just be choking me, Pastor, and pulling my hair. Let me tell you something. All you're gonna have left is patches in your hair, some red marks around your neck, and y'all gonna be in the dark. And let me tell you something. You make love better when the lights on and we can see each other. Go to work. Go get a job. Because making love you gonna be hungry. Let me tell y'all something. The love making is better when you're on a full stomach. That way, when you finish, you can just go on to sleep. Some of y'all be wide awake when you finish because y'all ain't got no money. He ain't working. You paying all the bills. So when y'all finish, y'all still got an appetite because y'all ain't had nothing to eat. Y'all don't like the way I'm teaching. Let me just stop. Let me get to the third thing. I told y'all don't bother me. I'm here for it. Don't play with me. Go to work. Go to work. Love making is better when you got a full stomach. Them bills are paid. When the repo man ain't riding down the street, y'all got to stop because you got to hurry up and run to the door and make sure the repo man don't see that the lights on in the house and sit the repo truck outside to get your car. No, pay your bill. Go to work so you can pay your bills. Y'all hear what I'm saying? This is making sense to anybody. All right, let me give you the third word so I can hurry up. Y'all started this. I told y'all don't egg me on. A full stomach, right, Eric? Mr. Carl, a full stomach and a pocket full of cash. I'm telling you, you can take some of that cash out and make it rain. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to help some of y'all. Take some of that cash out and make it rain while you're doing what you're doing. Okay? Anyway, third word. The third word I want to focus on really quickly for 2 minutes because y'all didn't want that tonight. I know. Y'all gonna talk about pastor. I don't care. Third word that I want to give to you tonight is investment, right? So we said patience, work, and the third word is investment. You've got to be willing to make an investment into anything that you're going to properly evaluate in your life that you expect to then produce results for your life. Investment, right? We called it Seed Sunday. But again, my non-churchy members don't get seed, but you understand investment, right? And when you've made an investment in something, what do you expect? You expect a return. You expect a return. You've got to stop making investments in things and not holding those things accountable for a return. Did y'all hear what I said? You've got to stop making investments in things without the willingness to hold accountable those things that you've made an investment in. You should expect a return from everything you make an investment in. Everything you make an investment in, you should expect a return on that investment, right? And so this is where we are when we deal with seed, because if you're going to properly evaluate things in your life for growth, if you're going to properly evaluate things in your life to determine the value or the worth of those things, you got to think about the investment you've made in that thing and then ask yourself, have I made enough investment into this to expect a reasonable return? And this is where honesty comes into play, right? Because you are less likely to cut things off or cut things short when you know you have made a big investment. Or I'm sorry, let me take that back. When you know you've made a small investment, when you know you've made a small investment, you are less likely to cut things off. Why? Because anybody will tell you that knows anything about investing one-on-one, is that investment takes time, right? If you're going to make an investment and expect a significant return, more often than not, it takes time. And not only does it take time, but it takes significant investment, right? Little investments, little returns. Big investments, big returns, right? We understand that, right? The greater the investment, the greater the likelihood for the return. But this takes time. And again, these all really connect so well, right? Because you can make a big investment, but if you don't have patience, it ain't gonna matter. You can make a big investment, but if you're not putting in work, it ain't gonna matter. You can put in work, but if you're not willing to be patient, it ain't gonna matter. You can put in work, but if you're not willing to invest more than just the work, it doesn't matter. Right? So investment is critical because investment helps you to understand the value of a thing. And whether or not it is worth you holding on to this particular career or holding on to this particular relationship or holding on to a house you just bought or that you want to get rid of or holding on to a friendship, whatever it is the level of the investment that you invested that helps there. And I'm here to tell you that typically the greater the investment, the greater the time you are willing to spend in order to see that thing materialize. When you ain't putting no investment in, sometimes folks are quick to walk away. And I'm just telling you, you got to give it time. You have to give the thing that you've invested in time in order to mature, in order to see the fruits of the investment. Did this bless anybody tonight? I don't know how much more practical I can be, y'all. Did this bless anybody tonight? Seriously, don't pull my leg. Did it bless anybody tonight? This is a powerful word. And I really, do me a favor. If you're journaling, I've been so impressed. So many of you, I see occasionally on social media as I'm browsing through or posting things or whatever. And I've seen so many awesome things, loving seeing the pictures of kids. I was just telling a member this week, we were texting this week, man, the kids in our church are just growing so big. I saw a picture of Carly, Sister Ashley, if you're still on, she's growing. Mila is growing. Like these kids are really growing. Like it's been almost 2 years since I've seen many of the kids, man. And I don't even know if I'm gonna recognize them when I see them. Like kids are really just growing. But let me tell you, it is so important that you understand the power and the impact of time, patience, and investment. It truly is. It's so important that you understand that, so that you are patient with things and you allow things to grow, develop, and mature the way they should. All right. And so I want to pray for you really quickly. If you got a prayer request, I want you to email your prayer request to info@rehabcc.org. If you got a prayer request that we can see right now, I want you to go ahead and type in your prayer request. I'm giving you 40 seconds quickly. So I'm going to pray. We're going to sow a seed tonight and we're going to be done. But I seriously want you this week, as you're journaling, as you're writing, as you're praying, as you're meditating, I want you to think about these 3 words: patience, work, and investment. Ask yourself, in your life, are you applying into your life the proper patience? Right? And I don't tell y'all to do something I don't do. Look, y'all, look what I got right here. You already know it. I was doing a little bit of writing before I jumped on tonight. One of my mini journals. I got about 4 just sitting around the house. I almost got a journal for almost every room that I sent in at some point. Journals everywhere. So Pastor didn't just tell you all to do this, and I don't do it. I'm an avid journaler, and I journal every single day. I want you to think about this week journaling, and I want you to make sure that you think about those 3 things. How patient am I being in my life? How much work am I giving to my life? And how much am I investing into those things concerning my life? I want you to answer those very important questions, and those questions will help you to ascertain if you are properly evaluating the things in your life and giving those things the opportunity to grow and develop. All right. Listen, you got a prayer request quickly. You got 15 seconds. I want you to type it quickly. Good. I'm starting to see some come in. Thank you, Sister Latanya, Clarity, Love, and Health. And I appreciate you inviting others to church tonight. Really appreciate that, all of you, on all of the networks tonight that are doing this. Thank you, Mr. Carlos, for helping out with moderation tonight on Instagram. Good. Great teaching. I appreciate that. Come on. If you got a prayer request, you got 10 seconds. I want you to type it quickly. If not, you can email your prayer request to info@rehabcc.org. You can email your prayer request to info@rehabcc.org, subject line prayer request. And that request will come directly to me, and we'll pray over your prayer request this week, every day this week. We've been up 4:15 in the morning praying over your prayer requests, and want you to know that we are praying for you. We're absolutely rooting for you, that God will answer your prayers in a special, special way. Y'all, do me a favor. Connect your hands like this as a sign, a symbol of faith. We get ready to touch and agree and pray. I want to pray for you right where you are. That God continues to answer your prayer, that God continues to make a way for you in your life as only he can. Come on, y'all. Touch and agree like this. Connect your hands like this as if we are holding hands. Clasp your hands like this as a sign, a symbol of faith. Let's get ready to pray. Let's do it now. Father, in Jesus' name, I thank you tonight for your word, this time of gathering, sharing you've given us. I pray that something tonight was said, that something was done that has encouraged your people in a special way. Help us, God, to give the proper time, work ethic, and attention, investment to the things concerning our lives. We might operate and live in patience, that patience might have her perfect work, that we might be whole and entire, wanting nothing in our lives, because we are operating in the God kind of patience that brings peace. I speak now, God, peace over the lives of your people that are watching live or even watching the replay, that they may be walking in a place called peace that's even greater than their own understanding. Why? Because they're not in a hurry. They're not in a hurry for anything. They're not in a hurry in their relationships. They're not in a hurry in their careers, their families, their decisions concerning their lives, their finances. But in everything, they're allowing patience to be the meter that moves them forward. I pray now, God, that you would reward your people that are operating in patience now like never before. That, God, you would reward your people that are operating in great work ethic, that are giving complete effort to things in their lives. And that you would reward your people that have invested in the things in their lives, invested in people, situations, circumstances. God, I pray that you would send a huge reward, that you would send a huge return to your people like never before. Now, God, for every prayer request that's come across this broadcast that has been emailed to our attention that we can't see yet, we speak to these prayer requests now, that you would answer the prayers of your people, that you would make ways, heal bodies, open doors, create miracles in the lives of your people like you never had before. We thank you, God, for a week that will be filled with miracles, open doors, made ways, met needs, even granted heart's desires, because your people have trusted you as a prayer answering God, a way making God, a miracle working God. God, work miracles for your people this week like only you can. And God, we promise you, we will not take the credit, but in everything, God, we'll continue to give you thanks for everything you've done. We count these things done and believe you for it in Jesus' name. Amen. Listen, y'all, do me a favor. I want you to type in the comments now. It is so. Quickly. It is so. If you prayed that prayer of faith with me, I want you to type in the comments right now. It is so. It is so. God's answering prayers. God's making ways. He's meeting needs as only he can. Come on, quickly. It is so. It is so. Every time you say amen, that simply means it is so. And I want you to know that God's answering your prayers in a very special way. And I'm excited for it. I'm expecting God to do some great things for your life this week, not next week, not next month, not next year, but this week. I'm expecting him to do some great things. And I want you to be excited about that. Do me a favor, y'all. Let's give really quickly. If this message, if this ministry has been a blessing to you in any kind of way, I want to challenge you tonight to give. You can give one of three ways. You can give via CashAPP, $REHABCCGIVE. You can give through our website by visiting www.rehabcc.org and simply choose online giving. Or you can give by texting REHABWORKS to 88202. That's texting REHABWORKS to 88202. You can give, you should see the giving information. Our moderators should have it on the screen. But I want to challenge you to give tonight. If this message, if this ministry has been a blessing to you, go back and watch the replay. Share it with your friends. Tell them there's a ratchet part in there where pastors start talking crazy. They'll be all right. But I want you to share this video with somebody and tell them that this is a powerful word that they can apply to their lives. If this message's ministry has been a blessing to you, you can give again one of three ways. via Cash App, $ REHABCCGIVE, our website, www.rehabcc.org, or you can text the word REHABWORKS to 88202. 88202. Text REHABWORKS to 88202. And those instructions for giving will come to your phone, and you can follow the prompts. My kids are looking at me. They got some money in their hand. They got a little bit of money this weekend. And I told them they could keep their money, but they got to start giving. And they said, yep, Daddy, we don't mind giving. And so they got their money, and now they acting like they're shocked because I didn't call them out on the camera. But I'm glad I have awesome kids that are also givers as well. And I am grateful to reap that in them. They are givers, and I'm just grateful to God for them. Listen, y'all, I love y'all. I hope this message has blessed you. I hope this ministry has blessed you. This broadcast has blessed you. Do me a favor, share this video with at least 5 people. Like our channels, subscribe to our channels, tell somebody to go back and watch the replay again. You can see all of our videos on YouTube. You can go back and look at the archives of all of our messages. And this was just a powerful message. But go back and check out the replay, tag 5 people, and then meet us this Sunday right here virtually at 9:08 a.m. sharp for a very powerful message that we know is going to bless you. And we can't wait to see you Sunday. Listen, y'all, I'm praying for y'all. I'm rooting for y'all. I want you to have a fantastic week. Have a safe week. Put your mask on. Stop being nasty. I don't care what you see on TV, at the football games, or with anybody else that's outside. Put your mask on so this virus can completely go away and we can all officially come out safe and sound. And I love you guys. I'm praying for you. I'm rooting for you. Can't wait to see you Sunday. Peace and blessings.
For watching the Rehab Christian Center live experience. If this broadcast has been a blessing to you and you would like to be a blessing to our leader, Dr. Zeb Talley III, you can sow a seed into his ministry by Cash App at $Pastor ZT3. It is our prayer that this message of hope encourage, enlighten, and empower you to be better. Please tune in Sunday at 9:08 a.m. for our Sunday morning experience. And as always, be blessed and have a wonderful